Is there something sinister lurking beneath the surface of Monkey's magic merry-go-round? Well, let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake. Ignore everything happening behind me. We are currently gearing up to shoot a super secret project that I can't tell y'all about yet. Today's review is spoiler free, so before we get into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more reviews just like this one. Now let's take a spin on that magic merry-go-round.
I'll never forget you either, Jimbo.
Something really bad happened to James Jensen when he was a kid. While hosting the latest episode of his children's series, Monkey's Magic Merry-Go-Round, his repressed memories begin to emerge, threatening his sanity and possibly his life. Will Monkey and the playground pals help James recover his lost memories, or have they been withholding something from him all along? Ever since Five Nights at Freddy's became uber popular in the middle of the 2010s, I feel like we've had a ton of different imitators, if that's movies, video game stories, whatever, that have explored twisted childhood nostalgia. Everything from Willy's Wonderland to the Banana Splits movie to one of my personal favorites from the subgenre, Mr. Crockett, are all really well done, but it's gotten to a point where it's oversaturated. I don't really even end up looking for these movies anymore because there are so many of them out there and they all kind of blend together and feel very similar. That's not to say these movies are bad. I'm sure that the upcoming Poppy Playtime adaptation, as well as Casper Kelly's Buddy dropping later this year, are going to be pretty damn good flicks. They're just not necessarily like my most anticipated of the year because they do feel like movies I've already seen before. That's what makes MMMGR something so special here. Monkeys might be wearing the skin of similar movies, but its commitment to telling a different kind of story is what really sells me on this one. The movie mostly follows a Mr. Rogers type presenter played by Dark Harvest scribe Michael Giglio. Yeah, you heard that right. He wrote one of the most underrated horror movies of the 2020s so far, and now he's killing it with his performance in this. He's seemingly trapped in the reality of his own kids show, and we start to get into this like Truman Show inspiration that I really dig. The puppets on the show haven't suddenly become sentient kill drones like most of the other movies in this subgenre, but rather dark figments of this traumatized individual's imagination. I think they represent some of the dark forces that us human beings have to overcome to achieve true happiness and peace, but I don't want to get too deep into all of that. That might be spoiler territory.
I have a problem. I can't seem to recall much of anything.
While a lot of their designs come off as creepy but generic, I think I love Monkey the most, the titular character. That makes sense, right? He's on screen the most, and also his human hands are so fucking scary.
Welcome to the playground, won't you have a look around, meet some pals?
This looks like some late 70s Chuck E. Cheese shit, and I hate it. I also love his voice too. He's got a very specific accent, and the way that he says, Jimbo. What do you think about that, Jimbo?
Here we go, Jimbo.
Without spoiling anything, the flick does end up becoming pretty metaphorical, which I know some people don't really like, but I personally really vibed with. My interpretation is that this is all just one big grand way of showing us a dude dealing with his personal demons and uncovering repressed memories. Despite its grotesque, quirky nature, MMMGR gets surprisingly emotional. It's a journey of self-discovery and overcoming the horrors of living that is only using nostalgic horror as stylization. You almost start to question if this guy even is the host of a children's show, or if he's just kind of using like a TV show he's familiar with as a way of dealing with his personal demons inside of his head. I really like that uncertainty in this film and how it deals with these tough subjects in some really fun ways. My only big critique of this film is that despite it running 91 minutes, which is like the perfect time for a movie, there are some times where this one feels a little long in the tooth. There's a few parts of this movie, especially towards the end, that feel elongated just for the sake of hitting that runtime. It's an issue that most one-man shows have, where sometimes there's just not much else to do at a certain point. I wonder if this movie would have been even more effective if it had like an hour-long runtime. I wish there were more movies that were only an hour long, or didn't feel the need to fit into the box of like, oh, 90 minutes is perfect, that's how long I gotta be. This isn't a huge criticism, by the way. This movie never drags its feet for too long. There are just a few points where I feel like we're kind of stuck in the mud for a minute. With that being said, there are some really effective and creepy sequences of dread throughout this entire movie. My absolute favorite scene, though, in the entire entire flick is when we get to meet Neil. Jimbo here draws a face on his knee because he's lonely without his puppet pals. Neil here takes on a life of its own and starts to attack Jimbo with a knife that he finds. This is so uniquely terrifying and burned into my brain forever, especially with the way that, again, creepy hands in this movie kind of pop through the knee. I might have to recreate this. The sequence captures this theme of self-harm that is sadly relevant to this story, so if that's something that's too far for you, be warned. And although it initially feels like this ubiquitous setup that could be in any of the aforementioned movies we've talked about in this review, I've never felt like we've seen a something from nothing scare this powerful before. Merry-Go-Round really captures some lightning in the bottle here with Michael's performance, as well as its unique setup. I give the flick a very strong 7 out of 10 for kind of doing the impossible. You've made an unforgettable horror flick in a subgenre that tends to blend together. Maybe some sequences drag a little bit, but this is one that's gonna stick up in the brain for a very long time to come. If you haven't seen this flick yet, definitely check it out over on Screambox. It's one of the most interesting releases of the year, at least in my mind. Here's where I'd rank this flick against the other 2026 horror movies I've seen this year. What did you guys think about Monkey's Magic Merry-Go-Round? Wow, that's a mouthful of a title. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below if you've already seen it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.